Hey everybody, welcome back to We Are Podcast.
This is Camp Slash Horrorcast, Season 3, Episode 5, In the Mouth of Madness.
If this is your first time checking out the podcast network, we appreciate it. Please head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And just a reminder, Camp Slash Horrorcast is a weekly live videocast available on Twitch and YouTube. We go live every Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time at twitch.tv/WeArePodcastNetwork and youtube.com/WeArePodcastNetwork. As the Camp Slash Horrorcast is live, I will not be editing the audio for this podcast, so what you saw live is what you get here. Please come watch the stream every Monday at 8 p.m. and if you want to see the previous streams, go check out our Twitch or YouTube channel. And for a full list of future films we'll be watching, please head over to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /WeArePodcast. All links can be found in the description. And with that, on to the Horrorcast.
Camp Slash Horrorcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to Camp Slash Horrorcast, where we talk horror movies from the past every Monday at 8 p.m. Central. I am your head camp counselor, Duck. I'm here with other head camp counselors. We got Jay. Do you read Sutter Kane, McClintock? Jay, how are you doing today, sir?
Hey, did you pick that quote for me? Like after I put my name in, or was that just
Jay? Do you? Oh, that was happenstance. That was.
Whoa, I like that.
Serendipity, if you will.
I like that.
Over serendipitous.
Next, we got Greg. Put him in number 9, McKinney. Greg, how are you, sir?
I'm great, thank you.
Excellent. Next, we've got David. Never throw chips at a driver. Jessup, David, how are you, sir?
Good, man.
Good. And finally, we got Javi. I just like being scared. Kane's work scares me. Byrez. Javi, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Just for the record, I love Sam Neill and all his movies. His best movie in the 90s was Memoir of the Invisible Man starring Chevy Chase. Fight me if I'm wrong.
It's a great John Carpenter film.
Okay.
Well, guys, we watched In the Mouth of Madness. This was Greg's pick. Running time 95 minutes. Budget 8 million. Box office 8.9 million. Didn't really make it back. So this is an eclectic film. We will get into talking about it in a second.
Yes, that is a word for it.
Synopsis. An insurance investigator begins discovering that the impact of horror writers' books have on his fans is more than inspirational. Simple synopsis. Let's watch the trailer real quick. It's about 2 minutes. Dealing with some audio issues, so bear with me, guys, as we watch this. We might have to. Are you scared? Come on.
I'm always scared.
Hopefully the trailer's showing up on the other side. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He's John Carpenter. It's 1990. This was made in 1995?
Yep.
Could not meet the demands of Sutter Kane's novel, In the Mouth of Madness. Kane disappeared 2 months ago without a trace. He's the guy that writes horror books.
You can forget about Stephen King.
There is a delay on the audio. God damn it.
There's not a delay.
You don't see a delay?
And I need that book.
It's a sit-up. It's a sit. I just have to wait.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, it's just my computer then.
Yeah.
That crashed at the right time? Yeah, okay.
This whole thing has been staged. You just get out.
Is that Vigo?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Ghostbusters.
You know what? I can't make out what this movie's about from the trailer, just like I couldn't make out what the movie's about from the movie. So. If I saw this trailer, though, I'd be fucking in. This is pretty dope.
So, the movie comes out next month.
In the Mouth of Madness. Lived any good books lately? All right, right on. That's the trailer for the movie. I think that sells it pretty well. So yeah, let's get into our histories with it. Let's start with Jay. Jay, do you have history with the movie?
I have a lot of history with this movie. I saw the making of it on Entertainment Tonight back in 1995 at 10:30 at night. Never got around to see it in the theaters, but this is a very special movie because it coincides when it came out on Stars on Saturday night, back when we used to tape movies that we wanted to watch over and over again. I also watched this the same weekend. I picked up my very first issue of Fangoria magazine.
Nice.
Issue number 150. I can paint the picture like it was yesterday. February 1996. Watched it at I believe it came on at 2 a.m. And staying up till 2 a.m. for me was actually pretty rough at that time of my life. But I'm glad I did, and I watched the holy hell out of this movie. I have seen it probably no less than about 30 times.
Damn.
I know this movie inside and out. And to me, in my own personal opinion, it is my favorite John Carpenter movie.
Well,
Oh, damn, that is some high praise for this piece of shit movie. Real quick, Raph said, hurry up and play. He was talking about us being late, but Raph, we're saying hello. David Lawrence says, back when you had to tape your boobs, and I don't mean my pasties. God damn it, David. I don't know what the fuck that means, but it's good to see you.
Classic Lawrence.
Classic Lawrence. All right, Greg, you picked this movie. What is your history with it?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to jump on back with Jay. I absolutely loved this movie. I watched it whenever it first came out, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. It was a dynamite movie, and Sam Neill coming off of Jurassic Park was a little bit different take for the main character, and yeah, I loved it.
Fuck yeah, David, you got history with the movie?
I do. I saw it when it came out, opening night in the movie theater, and I fucking hated it. But the weird thing is, I haven't seen it since opening night. Like I saw it, hated it, I wrote it off. I watched it for the first time yesterday, and I kind of enjoyed it. Like I don't know why I hated it so much, but I honestly I don't remember anything about it. So watching it yesterday was like the first time for me. So I didn't love it, but I enjoyed the shit out of it.
Right on. And Hobbs, you got history with it?
All right, let me picture the picture. Let me take you back. All right, picture 34-year-old Hobbs, broken down, depressed at the end of his pitiful rope, watching this movie for the first time 3 hours ago. I fucking hated this. What the fuck did I watch, Greg? Like, really? This is how you're going to do one of your best friends? We used to work together. Did you forget that, my guy?
No, it was great. Yeah. It was the early 90s. Everybody had the double-breasted suits, the like really long suits, that like went like, down to the bottom of your lap.
Like, what was this writer on? The person that wrote this movie, they must have been doing some hardcore hallucinogenics. I'm watching this movie. I felt like I was in part of a bad trip. I didn't appreciate it.
That's part of the movie.
That's a great analogy, bud.
I think that's exactly what he wanted, dude. I think that's exactly what he wanted. So
I tell you, I want to make a movie that everybody's gonna hate right now and upon the first viewing, but you give it about 20 years and they're gonna fucking love it, or at least be mildly okay with it.
Yeah, I was mildly okay with it.
You know what?
This is one of the things that I really I honestly gave this movie a lot of credit for, because I like to follow people's trajectories when it came to acting. I loved even as a kid, I loved watching an actor go from kind of obscurity to bigger roles. A good example of that would be like Leonardo DiCaprio. I remember seeing him in Critters 3, and then he was in Growing Pains, and then before I saw this, What's Eating Gilbert Grape? This Boy's Life, another phenomenal movie, and things like that. So I also thought it was kind of interesting to see Sam Neill, who to me, honestly, was the Indiana Jones of the 90s for me. I mean, Jurassic Park put him on the map, made him one of the biggest movie stars in the world.
Incredible.
And then all of a sudden, he's doing a horror movie 2 years after that. I thought that was a very interesting choice. And I was like, I really wish the movie had been more successful. Because, I mean, obviously I do have a lot of nice things to say about it, but it was like, to me, it actually added a lot of mystique to it for me.
Yeah, Sam Neill was pretty good in this. He only overacts a little bit, and it usually stays between. I captured the overacting, which I thought was great. And I think he was really good at going from somebody. My only issue with him is his character is kind of stupid in the sense that I guess he's an insurance agent who just doesn't believe that they could be in a book, and they kind of harp on that just a little bit too long. Because at a certain point,
he should have caught on a lot quicker.
Yeah,
when the shit started getting weird, but he kept on fighting it to the very end that he was not in the book. This is not real.
Insurance investigator, not agent. Thank you very much. Mild correction for me.
My bad. Yeah, let's definitely dive into it a little bit more, though. Sam Neill.
Do we gotta?
That's the point of the podcast, dude.
That's the joke, my guy.
My bad.
Hey, we're watching In the Mouth of Madness, and it's already the second best anime we've done on this podcast.
Oh, slam. Look at Hobby right now, just like taking that.
I didn't give it number 1 spot. Perfect Blue was great. That's
that's
number
badass, dude. That's badass. I saw that on Instagram earlier. That's killer. Yeah, David, did you make?
You weren't kidding when you said you were going to be going to war for this movie. I had to process what just came out of your mouth, sir. Okay, I'm going to retreat for now, but then you bet your ass. We got a long cast ahead of us, McClintock.
So, David, there was some stuff in this movie I felt like you would really appreciate. The painting when the Cthulhu creatures are on it. I literally was like, did David Jessup make this art? Like, is that what's going on? The creature effects weren't great, but like some of them were really cool. I'm just not a Lovecraft person. I am a Stephen King person, though, and so this movie pays homage to both of them, Lovecraft and Stephen King, especially in the Sutter Kane character. That is obviously Stephen King. That is 100% Stephen King. And the idea that they put it in New Hampshire instead of Maine kind of cracked me up because, King's stuff all takes place in Maine. But yeah, even the way the book covers look, that is pure Stephen King 80s.
To rebut that fact, Doc, all of H.P. Lovecraft's stories usually take place in Rhode Island, which is also New England.
Oh, there you go.
The Sutter Kane character is actually a pure amalgam of both characters. He is not really one-sided whatsoever.
I feel like he's more because when was Lovecraft? That was early 19th century, right? 20th century, sorry.
Yeah.
And whereas King was the biggest thing, and they even say in the movie, they say, he's bigger than Stephen King. And I was like, oh, they're taking a little jab there. But John Carpenter was friends with Stephen King because he did Christine before this. So I think it was all.
And I love the fact that when they go to the town, Hobbs End, which is a take on Castle Rock, that you see basically Children of the Corn, you see Cujo, and I love that thing. And I love the idea. Because this is one of the things I liked about the movie is I'm a big fan of the angel heart trope, which is one of the reasons why I like Empty Man. I love the idea of a guy, a protagonist, who thinks he knows who he is, and then slowly starts to realize that he is not who his reality is. Mm-hmm. And I love that about this movie, that he is just a character that was written.
And to answer that question, Jessup, there's also quite a few allusions to famous H.P. Lovecraft stories. Obviously, the Call of Cthulhu, the Yellow King is definitely referenced throughout. The Color Out of Space,
Mountains of Madness.
Mountains of Madness, obviously, the whole name of the actual movie. So, I mean, I do agree that I will say that I think for a lot of people, especially my generation, this movie introduced them to H.P. Lovecraft because it sure as hell introduced me to him.
Are you a fan of H.P. Lovecraft then?
Not his racism, but his
separate the art from the artist.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, as far as
say hi to Lindsay.
Hi, Lindsay.
Hey, Lindsay.
I mean, of course I
am. I'm not
like,
sure what that was. I saw a hand.
the only other movie I would say that really kind of brings Lovecraft to like the forefront would probably be The Evil Dead. But that really relates to just the Necronomicon, whereas I think this one kind of like opened you up to like a whole possibility of other things that Lovecraft could do. And so, yeah, like again, I think here's the other thing about this movie. I don't know if you guys know this or not. This movie is generally considered the third movie in the Apocalypse trilogy for John Carpenter. Mm. The Thing is considered the first. The second movie is Prince of Darkness. It's a super... I give it cult status. I love it. It's probably my second favorite John Carpenter movie. And then the third movie is In the Mouth of Madness. And obviously with the ending of it, I think it really does put a stamp on a lot of things. So,
and what's crazy is we've done more Carpenter on this podcast than we have anyone else. We've done Thing, we've done They Live, and we've done Halloween, and we've done this.
So does that mean that all three are technically related in some way? Is there like a link between those three movies?
I think thematically they are linked, but I don't know if they're linked.
No, I'm not trying to be a smartest. I generally didn't know that there was like a trilogy.
This no. It's just all three of them deal with world-ending creatures. The Thing deals with a being that can assimilate itself. Prince of Darkness is also taking it back. Prince of Darkness really explores the idea of cosmic horror, but that one didn't even have the star power this one did. It had, I think the main character was Jameson Parker from Simon and Simon. So obviously, unless you grew up around that, but in this one, you got a guy who was just in the biggest movie of all time, and I think that's why it's so astonishing to me that this movie didn't make more money on accident. Does that make sense to you guys?
I think it's too esoteric. I think it's just one of those things where it feels like Lovecraft, and Lovecraft is either you're in or you're out. And I think most people are out on Lovecraft. And I hate to say that because I know that he created modern horror in a lot of ways. But I think that it's just too, like I said, esoteric. It's just too, go ahead, David.
What does esoteric mean?
Esoteric.
I say it weird. It's seen by many but understood by few. So that's what it means. So I think
like the word esoteric.
I'm just saying it esoteric, but it is the word esoteric. You are correct. David, go ahead.
What I would have liked to have seen, and I think if they could have pulled this off, I think this movie would have been a fucking massive blockbuster. Is if they did it as Stephen King. Instead of Sutter Kane, it was Stephen King, and it was Stephen King's books, and they did it as Stephen King, slowly starring Stephen King in that castle and just using all his books. I think it would have been a fucking massive blockbuster.
I don't disagree. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Jay. No, go ahead.
The only reason I think that wouldn't work, at least at the time, is because I think those kind of like stories are generally for someone at the end of their career. It's more of a celebration. I think King had a lot more to write. That's why I think the Lovecraft comparison's a little more fair, because Lovecraft has obviously been dead for like 50 or 60 years by the time this movie came out. That's why I think maybe that was. That's why I'm just speculating.
But man, I would have lost my fucking nerd mind if the movie was played out and the guy that has the axe is dressed up like Jack Nicholson, and it's like all these Stephen King classic stories, and you go to Castle Rock. But I'm sure it would have been a nightmare, getting the rights to the movies and all that shit. But something along the lines of like, what was that movie? They had all the sci-fi references in it by Steven Spielberg.
Ready Player One.
Yeah, something like Ready Player One, but for a horror movie.
Well, have you watched Castle Rock on Hulu?
I haven't. I've heard good things though.
It's literally the story that you just said.
It pretty much does exactly what you want. And the first season, I think the second season even more so, which I haven't watched, but that first season is fucking killer. It's so
cool.
Freaking good.
I've heard good things, and now that we're like in this world, I'm like, you know what? I want to give that a shot, because I think I'd love that idea.
Sidetrack real quick. Is anyone watching Chucky?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have not.
Yeah, I've heard good things. I think through you, Jay, about it. I overheard you and Justin talking about it. It just sounded badass. I watched half the first episode and I was like, I dig this. I dig the vibe that it's putting down. So,
yeah, of course you would.
There are literal Emmy talks for Brad Dourif. I'm not kidding.
Shut up. That's awesome.
They say Brad Dourif, this is like the most fun he has probably ever had acting, because he gets awesome. Because here's the thing. Just to go real quick, my favorite Child's Play is Child's Play 2. And if you ask the fans, Child's Play 2 is probably their fan favorite. That's why this series almost follows that movie to a T. It's in that universe. So it's super fun, Chucky. But anyway.
No, let's get back to the movie. I want to go back to something Javi said, that it was a bit of a trippy movie, an acid trip of a movie. I think this is a movie you watch when you're high, not when you're drunk. And I think that it's not complicated to follow. Obviously, John Carpenter knows what he's doing. I was joking earlier when I said that. But it is confusing in the sense that it is very much head trippy. And it's about the imagery. The story is pretty simplistic. The imagery and showing the fucked up stuff, I think that's what really is the cool stuff.
Right.
And And Jay brought it up when we did Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, the scene with the car crash and the robot. And you said that they did a similar thing in this movie. And yeah, whenever they do the spider walk is what I'm calling it, whenever her head comes out of the side of the car door and then she comes out crawling and her head's upside down. I was like, oh, I see what you're saying. I was like, that was cool as shit. That was probably my favorite effect in this entire movie. Because like I said, the effects in this movie are so. Some are really good. Some are not great. Like whenever at the end, Kane opens up the door, and I like the breathing door. The breathing door was great. But when he actually tears away
that was pretty
the
weak.
poster, I was like, that's pretty 1990s.
Well, and to answer and to rebut that, what I'll say about the special effects, I never thought they were amazing, but the one thing I'll give them, these special effects in this movie are ambitious.
They are
very ambitious.
Very ambitious.
And
Dude,
for
that giant thing at the end, that hallway is amazing, by the way.
Oh,
that hallway is fucking gorgeous.
On Entertainment Tonight, so this is where I started like falling in love with it. You actually see that hallway lit up with the creatures kind of lined up. Dude, the work that went in, because that wasn't CGI.
Oh,
that was 100%. 100% puppetry. And not scale puppets.
Yeah.
Not scale. Those were 1-to-1.
1-to-1. They're massive.
Massive. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I think the ambition of those and the old lady with her kind of weird tentacle stuff. I mean, yeah, it wasn't. I never thought it was Rob Bottin level, but I was like, dude, they're giving it its all. Like I really felt like part of me thought John Carpenter was going to die soon after this movie. It really felt like he went all out for this, in my opinion.
Everything in the kitchen sink. And also when that lady was chopping up the husband and the tentacles coming out, I could imagine was Jessup doing like a little diorama of that little scene right there with the tentacles. I was like, I could see that in the future, him making that. So
did you guys notice Hayden Christensen riding the bicycle as a paperboy?
Yeah, that's a very popular Easter egg.
Yeah, very good call. This is his first role, I believe.
Well, it's I believe isn't Hayden Christensen Canadian?
I do not know.
I believe he is, and I
think so. Yeah.
I believe part of this movie, because it is shot, around Vermont. And part of it was also shot in
Ontario, I think.
Yeah, so yeah, that's why he got to do it.
I also thought that the guy he yelled at for the having the package was Christian Bale, and I looked it up and it wasn't Christian Bale. But
did you want it to be Christian Bale?
I wanted it to be my Batman, which is actually Michael Keaton.
First of all, no, that's nobody's Batman.
Oh, Bale was good. Hush your mouth. Hush your mouth.
Really? Was he good? Was he that good?
Amazing. He was amazing. I like the fact that the monsters are really the words of the book. I thought that was a cool aspect of it, that they could consume people through reading. I thought that was interesting. I thought that was really cool.
By the way, this movie was a great PSA for not reading. Like,
hey, if you don't want to read, you could always wait for the movie. He says it, and I love that line. I thought that was really fun. I thought that was a lot.
By the way, who else thought the ending was just an homage to Blazing Saddles?
Oh, I
have never seen Blazing Saddles.
What the fuck? Why do you hate America?
Why do you hate America, Jay?
I thought you said, why do you hate American?
He did. He did.
I love American cheese. It's amazing. We talked about the fact that he doesn't believe the entire time. That was really stupid. And the girl that's in this who plays Linda Stogner, I can't remember what her name was.
Linda Carmen.
All right. She looks like the crazy lady from Troll 2. That's the whole time I was watching. I was just like, is that the same woman? But she did pretty good. I thought she was good. I kept expecting her to turn into a robot because you said there was an homage to Halloween 3, but then I saw what it was. I was like,
she was the crazy lady from Trolls.
Also, I want to mention that bike would not last that long. He would not age to be 80 years old riding that bicycle because what is he, fixing the bike all the time? I don't think so. So that bothered me. Guys, do you have anything about the movie specifically that you like? I mean, Greg, you said that this is, a movie that you wanted to watch again. What stuck out in your memory about this movie?
Well, watching it the first time, I enjoyed it very much. And watching it the second time, I kind of feel like it lost a lot. I mean, it's not, it didn't hold up.
Not
in my opinion. So you gonna turn your back on the Mouth of Madness like that, Greg?
I loved it very much at the time, and it scared the shit out of me. But yeah, now I'm not so sure. I mean, it was
I don't know if
I don't
it's
know.
scary. It's psychologically.
It's
trippy.
definitely something, but scary ain't one of them.
Yeah, it's not scary. I wouldn't say scary, but if I saw this when I was a kid, I think it would fuck with my head a little bit.
I would definitely put In the Mouth of Madness along with a lot of movies. I would put this right up there with Goonies and a bunch of other movies like that. That if you saw this movie for the first time as an adult,
with Goonies.
No, Mike. Not saying it's as good as Goonies. What I'm saying is there's certain movies like Goonies, and Goonies is a great one to start with.
Monster Squad.
Or Monster Squad. They're movies when you see them as an adult for the first time, it's not yours.
Yes.
No.
It's not yours anymore. You see these movies at a certain age, and I think that's when they're the best. And I'll agree that it doesn't hold up like it used to. Unfortunately for me, I kind of feel that way about pretty much all of John Carpenter movies. I think they're all pretty much slices of life for the time and place that they're that. And as time goes on, I think they're great. I think they're great placemats for their time in film. But yeah, they don't. Unfortunately, I don't think they do age that well. He gets paid though, so I mean, good for him.
I think The Thing has aged better as time has gone on.
Like
It
Kurt
might be-
Russell.
It might be his
Thing-
masterpiece.
I think The Thing is the what do you call it? The
Equivalent to Kurt Russell.
no. It's the I don't know.
The swan song, the magnum.
Well,
The
it's
magnum opus.
Like what I believe what Jay said about all of his films, except for The Thing. The Thing to me gets better and better and better with it.
Halloween holds up. It is really, really good. And I feel like those are the two movies. Jason's disagreeing.
Who made that fart noise? Was that Hobby?
What do you think?
No, I mean, again, I think Halloween. I love The Thing. I love Halloween. I think Halloween's a movie that people are kind of almost not allowed not to like. It's very protected, in my opinion. It's a very protected movie. It's up there with like a few other movies that are extremely protected. And maybe it's because Michael Myers was never my bag. So I feel free to shit on it. But I mean, the thing, I love The Thing, but I also think like, over time, and that's the thing. That's what happens over time.
That's the thing.
That's cinema.
John Carpenter really has a thing for the decades is the thing, though. He really has every one of his movies feels like it's specifically for that decade that he was made in. And this movie feels a little more 80s-ish. Like I was shocked that it was 95. I think
it felt like 87.
Yeah, it
It
really
felt like
did.
an 87 movie.
It really did in a lot of ways. And so I think a lot of it comes down to the smoking because he's endlessly smoking. But I also think that's an homage to Stephen King because of his endless drug use and stuff like that. I thought that they were going to turn around and he was actually going to be the author at the end of the movie. I thought that was going to be the big twist. And there really wasn't a twist at the end of the movie. I guess there is kind of, but not really. Go ahead, David.
The twist is the movie poster you see for Mouth of Madness. It says directed by John Carpenter.
Yeah, I thought that
a
was
little
cool.
meta.
Released by New Line Cinema.
Yeah, I love movies where the person's trapped, like that one movie we watched, Jay, about the insane asylum. I love it when people can't get out of that world. So I love the idea of him constantly driving away and ending up back in the town. I love stuff like that.
Like that Matt Dillon show, Pine something.
Oh, what?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
There was this
Did you
Matt
make something
Dillon.
up?
No, it was like this fucking miniseries starring Matt Dillon. Something called like Place Beyond the Pines, but that's the movie starring the beautiful Ryan Gosling. No,
I love
it's
that
like
movie.
Pine something,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
he can never leave the town. And like every year, there's a fucking thing where they gotta sacrifice people, and it's just a fucking trippy show. You know, come back to me. I want to go look it up right now.
Okay.
It sounds like The Hobbits to me.
Or Groundhog Day.
Or I guess the character could be stand-in for John Carpenter himself too, because John Carpenter smokes like crazy. Even if you see him in interviews today, I think he's still smoking. That man's crazy.
Wayward Pines.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
They also did that in the Blair Witch remake / sequel where they got stuck, and I do like that. I like people whenever they're stuck in a scenario. But if it's a character in a book, it makes sense he wouldn't be able to leave the book, and he's always within the confines of the script of the book. So I kind of like that. And when it ends at the end of the movie, when he's in the movie theater and he's laughing, it's almost like, okay, I know I'm going to go. I know this is the end of the line. And like, you can almost imagine him fading away as the movie ends because it's the end of his story, and his story ends in a batshit crazy way. But like he's a character, and this is it, and like there's no end. I mean, this is the end. There's nothing afterwards. So I kind of like that. I like a lot of the stuff in this movie, the imagery and stuff like that. I just think that it's just so bizarre, but very. If this is a homage to Lovecraft, which it is, very well done, John Carpenter.
Conceptually, I think this movie is solid and holds a lot of water. I just think execution left a lot to be desired.
I don't know, man. I think.
Did you guys notice that Sam Neill did the Sam Neill turn a lot in this movie? You know, the Sam Neill turn.
And that little mole right there. Did you notice the crayon when he put the crosses on didn't get on the mole? The mole was still good to go.
Was the Sam Neill turn even like a thing before this movie? Though?
Yeah, Jurassic Park. If you go watch Jurassic Park, there's a lot of Sam Neill turns.
Oh yeah.
So it's 2 years old by the time he does this movie.
Yeah.
So it wasn't exactly legacy.
Well, I think what it was is he was like, listen, man, I think I got something that's cool. I'd like to use it a lot. Can I put it in my contract?
Believe me, dude. Some local comedian in Dallas, Texas, 20 years from now is going to be talking about my classic turn. This is going to be a hit.
Well, guys, what else about the movie? I mean, like I said, the storyline's pretty thin. You know, it's all about the imagery and the feeling and the emotion that it elicits from you and the confusion that it does. I love the music. It's John Carpenter goodness, obviously. And some of it's just downright wacky in some places.
I hated that fucking intro music and the outro music. It was like a shitty metal band. It was so fucking
And that metal band was John Carpenter.
You didn't like that?
And that sounded like 1987 hair metal. It wasn't even like good hair metal. It was like,
dude, it
was great, man.
It sounded like a hair metal band that you would have seen at Trees in 87.
The intro, like I put it this way, that intro looked like it was expensive.
Yeah. And I like the imagery. They call back to some of the imagery from the intro, the way that they were looking at the copywriter and stuff like that, and the hallway and stuff like that later on. I thought that was cool. But I was expecting Metallica to be like, yeah! And I was like, right on. And it was bizarre.
Well,
but otherwise, there's little music cues in it where like it's just like literally wah, 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 and stuff like that. I was just like, Carpenter's a genius when it comes to stupid music cues. Real quick, we got Jim Din. I got a boner in sweatpants one time in gym class. I call that a horror story. Oh, right on.
Who's Jim Din?
I have no idea, but they got a boner once in gym class, and that's
cool.
Terrible. It does sound terrible. I'm not gonna lie. What else, guys, about the movie? Oh yeah, the cinematography pretty good for 95, I think, but it does feel like an 80s movie. John Carpenter doesn't feel like he ever moved past the 80s when it comes to cinematography. He keeps it sweet and simple and to the point. And he did use some Dutch tilts at the end to show that he was crazy. You know how everyone does that with the Dutch tilts. But other than that, like, I think overall this is a pretty decent movie. You guys got anything else you want to say about it?
I think this movie could do for a remake, and I would be okay with a remake.
Speaking of which, there's a director who's been trying to make a remake forever. Guillermo del Toro.
I would watch a version of this movie done by him.
Absolutely, yeah. I would agree.
I'd
like to talk about all the. Let's talk about the amazing cameos in this movie. David Warner, one of the greatest character actors of all time.
Love David Warner.
Is it
Jordan Poncho?
Is it Jordan Prochnow?
Prochnow, there it
goes. Bruce Glover, who was also in Gremlins 2. A few years before this,
as the boss, right?
Charlton Heston, one of the greatest actors of all time.
Bizarre. When he showed up in the scene, I was like, "Is that really from my cold dead hand?" I was shocked. I was like, "Heston's in this, dear Lord!" Right on.
And then finally, the last thing I'd like to say in defense of In the Mouth of Madness, for me, it was also the first movie that I would ever classify as a meta movie. And the fact that it's a movie that relays upon itself, and then it actually brings you inside of it. It's a movie where the story, the plot's pretty thin. I'll give you that. People are reading this book and they're going crazy. And then by the end, you're like, well, as long as I don't read the book, I won't go crazy. Oh, there's the movie. Then you realize he's watching the movie. Then you realize the movie he's watching, you're watching. It completely rotates upon itself, and then he starts laughing, and then it ends with him with that very somber kind of like giving into the madness and like actually kind of like in tears. And I thought it was just super fun.
Two issues I had with that, though. The movie is not in sequence when he's watching at the end. It is jumbled and out of.
Well, it's because they're showing you that he's watching it over and over and over and over and over again.
Right,
yeah, he's not watching it one time. That's why you see all those little spots. Because he's literally that's how he's just going to end it all. And then like within the story, the end of it is him sitting in the movie theater watching it over and over again. And it's like it melted my meager 15-year-old brain. and I felt like other movies kind of ripped that off where you watch something and you go crazy or die. I thought The Ring definitely borrowed from In the Mouth of Madness, and that movie came out a few years later. I mean, I think this movie inspired a lot. Like I give this movie a lot of credit. I really do. And there's things I could just really pick apart. It's like another one of those movies where I will agree to every indiscretion people have with it, but
for you, it just works. It just works.
Just works. Always has.
I don't think it's top tier Carpenter. I think that this is definitely more in the middle when it comes to his stuff. Not as low as Vampires, which I like, but it's got all the hallmarks.
I mean, it's no Ghost on Mars, but what?
Oh, that's bottom tier Carpenter. It's way better than that.
Hey, that's John Carpenter's redheaded stepchild is Ghost of Mars.
I was actually looking up like the ratings of his films, like in order, and they had some film on there I had never fucking heard of before. And I forget what it was, but it was some girl wakes up in the middle of the street or something. Jay, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think you're talking about that movie with Amber Heard, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a one-word name. Came out in like in the 2010s.
Is it his most recent movie?
One of his most recent, and the only excuse that I will give In the Mouth of Madness, I will order one excuse, please. This movie is the only time that I can think of, unless any of y'all remember another time in Carpenter's history where Carpenter had two movies come out within 3 months of each other.
Are you thinking of The Ward?
Nope. Well,
yes.
The Ward, yeah.
The Ward.
The movie I'm talking about is Village of the Damned.
Oh,
I've heard of this.
The movie came out literally 2 months after this one. I don't know if maybe he was stretched too thin on one or the other, but if I were to give this movie any excuse, that would be the one excuse that he might have been a little rushed for time.
Hey, can I jump in here and just say that I think a very underrated movie of his is Memoirs of an Invisible Man. I think that's a great fucking movie. Another movie with Sam Neill. I fucking love
what is that.
Chevy
Chase.
Yeah, Chevy Chase.
I fucking love that movie.
I've
it is
only
so
ever seen
good.
that once,
movie,
and it's
man.
bizarre.
Great point, David. Great point.
Real quick, Annie Cake says, been listening to you for a little bit, kind of agreed with the one who doesn't care for Halloween movie, but Rob Zombie's Halloween, love. Don't know if I can get behind that, Annie Cake.
Who said that? Annie Cakes? Annie Cakes, I don't know you. Welcome. But I don't agree with that. I think you're wrong on all levels with that.
I will say that
I like the Carpenter Halloween better than the Rob Zombie.
Well, but Rob Zombie, I will say this. Rob Zombie gave Michael way more love than Carpenter ever did.
He did.
Well, isn't the Rob Zombie Halloween have to do with like when you saw it? Like if you are a younger person and that's your first introduction to Michael Myers, wouldn't you would probably enjoy that more than the original?
Maybe I saw Halloween 20 years before I saw, close to 20 years before I saw the Rob Zombie one. So
it's kind of like kids. There's some kids that their first introduction to Star Wars were the prequels, and they fucking love it. They think it's great.
Look at this movie. Look at the trailer for In the Mouth of Madness. And of all the John Carpenter movies, they go 10 years ago. He brought you Starman. What the fuck? Starman? This guy made Elvis. Now get ready. Like that's a unique choice. Unique choice to
me. Metal Halloween, though. I saw the original director's version of that movie, which begins with the Monster Mash, and I liked it because I got a copy of a pirated version of it. But it does some interesting stuff. I think the second one is way more of a Rob Zombie movie, and I respect Rob Zombie as an artist, and I do like his music still too. Dracula. But anyhow, In the Mouth of Madness. Let's go to recommendations down the line. Do we recommend this bad boy? Jay, I think we know what you're going to say. You do recommend this, correct?
Fuck yeah, dude. A lot of fun.
Yeah. David, how about you? Do you recommend the movie?
No, I don't want to recommend this to anybody because I don't want them to come back like Javi and fucking hate me for it.
Greg, do you recommend the movie?
Absolutely. I love this movie. Yeah.
Right on.
Let's recommend that.
Hobbs, how about you? Do you recommend it? Oh, just take that little smoke.
Yeah. Even though I don't think you have to be high to enjoy a movie, but yeah. No, I do recommend this movie. It's fun watch. I grant you, I may have been a little bit hard on it, but like David, on his first shot, he hated it. I think I just gotta watch it again. Honestly, I am gonna watch it a second time this weekend.
One of the things I fear with this podcast is a lot of the times I watch the new movies that I haven't seen on the day of the podcast. And for a lot of movies, they need to sit with you for 2 or 3 days so you can really make up your mind on it. I think that this movie is a trippy experience. I think Greg's dying right now. Greg, you okay?
Greg.
Come back, Greg.
Come on, Greg.
Come on, Greg.
Come on, Greg. Come on, Craig. I think that this movie's trippy. I love what Jessup said about him being stuck in the same area. And I love the idea that he's a character within the book and within the movie, and he doesn't exist beyond it. So I definitely recommend it. Not top tier Carpenter, but I can get behind this.
By the way, I kind of want that to be a band name, Top Tier Carpenter.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good like lesson as far as well, that didn't age well. I love the idea of him hitting on her by the elevator. That was like something that guys just did. Like, well, do you want to come over to my house and maybe we'll?
Oh yeah, he was totally leaning. But
yeah.
later I'm like, he's trying to kiss him, and I'm like, this dude's gay, right? Because he has no interest at all. And I was just like, what is going on? Like, unlike Halloween 3, where Tom Skerritt was just like, come on, baby, let's go.
I was like, come on, baby, I got a disc man.
It was Tom Atkins.
My bad.
Yeah,
my bad.
He looks like Tom Skerritt's dad, though. So to Ducky's defense,
Tom Skerritt looks like Tom Skerritt's dad.
Yeah,
Hey, will you just put him away?
He's a little bit older.
Hey everyone, it's just Duck jumping in here real quick to say thank you so much for checking out the podcast today. If you're enjoying it, head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And just so you know, the next section of the podcast will be clips from the movie, so you can find replays of the live video stream at twitch.tv/We Are Podcast Network and youtube.com/We Are Podcast Network. Once again, all links can be found in the description. Come check out our live stream every Monday at 8 p.m. And for a full list of future films, check out our social media. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /We Are Podcast. And with that, back to the Horrorcast.
All right, guys, let's get the clips.
Clips.
Yeah, get the clips now. All right.
Put him in number.
I fucking love that guy. He was in Gremlins.
Put him in number 9.
He was also in Scrooged.
Is it not delaying for you guys on that side?
It was for me a little bit.
Balls.
Yeah. All right. So just bear with me as the delays happen. Balls.
I'm sorry about the balls. It was a lucky shot, that's all.
It's in sync, bro. What are you talking about?
I don't know. It's weird on my computer, so whatever. The crosses.
The Cruises.
Like them. Every paranoid schizophrenic has one of them, of they.
Why did he draw the crosses? They never really explained that. Is he trying?
Why does he look like Post Malone?
Avi for the win.
You want to hear about my them, don't you? I want to know how you got here.
That guy was in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles too. Secret of the Ooze.
He was. I kept wondering where I knew him.
He was a
from.
scientist, my
He was
guy.
back
Of all
bandits, motherfucker.
Yeah, of all the David Warner movies, you picked
know.
TMNT 2.
Oh shit!
Jesus.
Wasn't he the bad guy in Tron?
Wasn't he the
Yes.
bad guy in
Yes, he was.
everything?
Yeah.
Everything that I can think of, yeah.
The single best kill in the entire Omen franchise is
Oh,
David
yeah.
Warner.
Very nice.
No, dude, I would say the elevator shaft. was the best.
I jump back and forth between him and Meshach from
Shadrach and Abednego.
from designing women. You are going to get that one past me, Jessup. However, for me, it's just the way the head bounces off the pane of glass. I just thought it was really,
Oh yeah.
But yeah, you can't find a loser between those two kills. So anyway, carry on, guys. Just
Act time.
nerds.
Put
be my man one more time. I'm having quite a difficult mess with Arcane.
Yeah, that needs to be Jack Torrance.
Publishing house?
That needs to be Vincent D'Onofrio.
They just filed a claim.
That needs to be Paul Giamatti.
that is Paul Giamatti.
Sutter Kane's missing.
WNBC.
Real.
Hey, don't forget this actor next to Sam Neill.
Do you read Sutter Kane?
He was that badass guy in Revenge
man.
of the Nerds.
Was it? Oh shit, he was.
He's the one who calls out.
Yeah.
I was wondering. There he is. Boom. Little pause.
Yeah, we could really see him like that.
My bad. There you go. Now.
There you go.
Is that better? Is that
Yes.
better?
Yeah.
That terror on his face looks really real too. like they didn't tell him that was going to happen. I thought that was a good choice.
Now look at the contact lens, the double irises
I like it,
on the
yeah.
eye.
Do you read Sutter Kane?
Bitch, I am Sutter Kane.
Ooh.
Heston.
Get it done. Jackson Harglow, Mr. Trent, I'm pleased to meet you. It's a pleasure. Excuse the commotion.
I'm pleased to meet me too.
Crisis going on.
Smoke.
Are you smoking yet?
So much smoking in here.
Julie Carmen.
You don't mind, do you?
She doesn't exist, bro.
She's gonna drink that shit later.
Bad cop.
Buddy.
By the way, I've
life.
been to a lot of cities. I've never seen trash cans with fire inside of them. That's a weird Hollywood trope.
Yeah.
You see trash cans with fire in them?
Yeah. David, you ever lived in a cold city?
Oh.
You ever,
No.
you ever been through
from
a summer
Florida.
in Far Rockaway, New York?
That's
Yeah,
a good point.
there were barrel fires everywhere.
They're called barrel fires.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely. In Chicago's.
I take
that's a
back my
legit
statement.
trope. So
Hey guys,
we get
you ever
it.
notice that how
You have
realistic
the
it is
warm
when the trash
climate
cans
in
are on
Florida.
fire?
They just had men fires.
You want some too, buddy? Do you
Not
want
really.
some too, buddy?
I love that. That's
Do
pretty
you
good.
read Sutter Kane?
Oh yeah. You
Cop
read
scare.
Sutter Kane.
This kind of got me. Waking up in a dream into another dream. I've done that. The map.
Now I know
Ah.
done himself. See this? It's a map. The red dot is.
That'd be a cool thing to make, Jess,
Real
up the
map
map.
like this.
There are more fans of this movie.
Two line up.
Put that in the frame. That'd be badass. Bike. Yes. Young kid. Is that Hayden Christensen right there?
Yeah.
No.
It was the kid. Is that John Carpenter right there?
That was Palpatine.
That kind of looks like him.
Look like
Kind
him.
of looks like him.
I don't think that was on accident at all.
The portal. I thought this was a cool effect, even though
I thought it was super cool.
yeah. Almost looks like sprockets in a film too.
Hope you don't got epilepsy, lady.
Yeah, no doubt. Better than Poltergeist, or as I called it, Seizure the movie.
Feature the movie. No shit, man.
Oh shit, that was actually one of the bridges in Madison County.
I told you about that time I watched that with an ex-girlfriend's mom, and it was the most awkward thing ever. Like I was like, we didn't make it through the movie. I was just like, this is too weird.
Yeah, you didn't make it through the movie without fucking? Is that what
Yeah, I
you're
know.
saying?
You're like, listen, well, I'm sorry, but we gotta fuck now.
Dude, I'm gonna be
Yeah,
honest
nothing
with you.
gets me more in the mood than mad with the fucking.
Yeah,
you know what?
probably-
Come back.
If
to me.
it's
I
good
fucked
enough
up.
for Angelica Houston and Clint Eastwood, it's good enough for me.
It probably would have happened. It was what's her name? It was the famous
Oh,
actor.
Yeah,
Was it Meryl Streep?
Meryl Streep and Clint
Meryl
Eastwood,
Streep,
man, they always
yeah.
get
Oh, I
my
thought it was-
gonads rolling.
Yeah, I thought it was Angelica Houston.
Yeah, it's Meryl
I get
Streep.
those two
wish.
confused.
I wish it was more Morticia. She's smoking hot. Kane.
Vigo.
kicking an old man. It's Billy Madison's grandma.
Yeah, that's what Lindsay said too.
Yeah. Happy Gilmore's grandma.
I know. I said
Right.
Billy Madison on purpose.
You can trouble me for a warm glass, so shut the hell up.
So okay, here's a very small little tidbit. I've seen this movie so many times that I actually thought that little sound clip of the old man like groaning like that, I thought they used that in Resident Evil.
They probably did. They have like weird sound bites, like when Howie Long got kicked off the train in Broken Arrow by Christian Slater. The same scream that he does is the same scream that they use for the intro of Real Monsters.
Exactly.
Another tidbit that nobody gives a shit about or even knows what I just said. For all you guys know, I just had a stroke and I'm about to bleed out in like 5 minutes.
Mommy's Day.
Who takes care of you?
That's the best kind of day. Oh, Jesus.
You're my mommy. Know what
Oh.
today is?
Oh my
Ooh.
god.
Today is Mommy's Day.
So wonderful.
That's the
Get
best
the fuck
actor
out
of
of
this
here,
whole
kid.
fucking movie.
Sure.
Get
That's fucking freaky as shit.
I think I wrote peek wrong, so peekaboo. I like this effect. This is kind of cool.
When she close that door?
It stays in frame, and then she reopens it, and it's a cool difference there. I love when they do. A little bit long. All right, going back. Completely different background, completely different everything. I just love that when shit's done in frame. I love classic movie making magic.
Why is that guy always playing the same fucking weird villain in every movie?
Typecasting. Growth.
I think that's
Dude.
clear.
Imagine if that thing was on his dick instead.
Hey, Jay, it's Malignant.
Maleficent. Yeah, Malignant. Another movie inspired by In the Mouth of Madness.
Yep.
He caressed it like it's on his dick. I felt like this was some Jessup art here, so let's appreciate that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, pretty badass. I could see you making that. That'd be sweet. I like the little Cthulhu monsters. It's pretty cool.
I love the cathedral in the back.
Yeah, this is a badass painting. Also Jessup art.
Oh fuck yeah.
That is a good animatronic.
Yep.
Vigo's dead. Gonna roll tonight.
He's just in the painting.
This and Ghostbusters 2 are in the same universe.
Yep.
I have to. You wrote me this week.
You wrote me this week.
I thought that was a missed opportunity to show some head explosions, but I think if they did that, the movie would have gotten an NC-17 rating.
And this was what, PG-13?
Nope, very R.
Was it R? He gay. He has no interest whatsoever in this one. Get away, I like men.
Get away, I like men.
Sorry. Spider Walk.
This was cool. This was a cool scene.
This had to have been Jack's favorite part of the whole movie.
I love this part.
Ew.
Dude, I would totally fuck her mouth right there. Hey, Javi, you want to have a threesome with me and her?
Not with you, no. Not with you.
Come on.
If I gotta look across from that buddy and
Come on.
see you staring at me, no
Come on.
thanks, Jessup.
It's a group rope. Come on.
Only if we can London Bridger. That means we gotta interlock hands.
Just don't make eye contact with me, Javi. It's fine.
So the monsters here look amazing. So good.
Trent's eyes refused to close. He did not shriek, but the hideous.
You know she's a
unholy
clinical psychiatrist.
abominations shrieked for him.
Is she really?
That checks out.
Awesome.
This reminded me of Dead Space.
I want these action figures. Look at those.
Yeah.
Those are badass. And of course he fell.
The way he just threw himself like, ah!
I'm blue, I was dee-ba-da-da.
Did I ever tell you my favorite color?
That's a cool shot. This is really trippy.
That blue filter is annoying.
On purpose. And everyone's wearing blue. Maybe that's where they got the song from. Overacting. This part is amazing.
See your supervisor.
The original Karen.
Mm-hmm. My name is Coyle. Give me the manager.
Just like the book.
Like the book?
I love it.
Ooh. That guy's got a lot of ear.
Wham! He got jokes.
Bidets.
What about the people who don't read? There's a movie.
He delivered that pretty well. Very nicely done, Sam.
Well, it's kind of like he's telling you, the audience, like, well, you're watching it.
That's what I was going to say. I expected at the end, whenever he's laughing, to turn to the camera and break the third wall, and he didn't.
Which I thought made it even stronger. I mean, yeah, I'm with you.
You read?
Do you read Sutter Kane?
He's so good. He's such a good character actor.
Mhm.
This part actually scared me. It got me. Just the noise. That's all it needed to do. Crayons don't come off like that.
Incredible epidemic of random
I wiped right off that motherfucker. Look at that.
Was it ever clarified that it was crayon?
Yeah, they said earlier he asked for a crayon. And he got a lot done with one crayon.
Maybe. Have you ever tried to get ink like crayon on your skin? It's almost impossible. You can't do it.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't happen.
They clearly give him charcoal.
Ha, the end.
Cue kick-ass metal sound.
Yeah.
He's in the mouth of madness. He's full of sadness. He shouldn't read the book, but there's a movie. Now he's in the mouth of madness.
I like Jessup would have liked the gig.
Guitar.
Jessup, that would have totally been your band's gig in the 90s, wouldn't it? That would have totally been your shit. Jessup, that's the thing, is this movie on paper feels like it is the quintessential Jessup movie.
Oh yeah,
it's so funny.
And I think that's why I kind of like it now. I think back then I don't know what my state of mind was or anything, but now I'm watching. I'm like, yeah, I kind of dig this.
Like if I were to put your mind on screen, it would look very similar to this.
Yep.
So,
and
David,
by the way, hang on.
David, what? Oh God, he's gone. He is gone. He's leaving the cast. He's outie. Well, what's he got? Oh, he's got
Gotta show off more of his art. Hey guys, check out this diorama I made.
Oh, are you mocking him?
No,
that painting that was in the movie, I actually have a painting that I'm going to do that to.
Oh, fuck yeah!
That's awesome.
Hey, can I give that a Metallica? Yeah! Ooh, come on.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me da.
Something to these characters. I'm going to make them
That'll be
weird.
bomb ass, dude. I'd love to see
Jessup, you fucking rule, man.
I saw a picture of the Last Supper at a thrift store, and I almost bought it to give it to you so you could do something fucked up with it. So
Have you ever seen the really, really well drawn Last Supper where they're all zombies?
Oh no, but that sounds amazing.
It's fucking really good. Yeah.
All right, guys, let's get to some recommendations. First recommendation for me is going to be the movie Existence. It's a David Cronenberg movie, and it deals with the idea that you are not who you think you are, and the virtual world could be anything that you want it to be.
Very early Matrix.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate this movie came out at the same time as The Matrix.
But also, it has its place in time. This feels like a 90s movie.
Hey, Willem Dafoe.
It changed the game. Willem Dafoe is in this movie.
I want to start a GoFundMe campaign from now on to refer to him as William Dafoe.
I think there's a clip out there of him talking like he was in an acting class and someone tried to correct him on how to say his own name.
Wow.
Oh, snap.
I've seen his penis. Like it is. He's got a fucking hammer.
I heard he's got a girth. Got a girth.
He's blessed.
That'll be my first pick.
He said he's a blast. After everyone talks about how big his dick is, Greg chimes in with, yeah, he's a blast, like all over my face.
Next, we got Mandy, which is
fucking love this movie. Fucking love this movie.
Film. Yeah.
Greatest soundtrack in the fucking world.
I just want to acid trip of a movie. That's what I was thinking earlier. Guys,
have you guys watched the Outer Space one?
Color Out of Space.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. Is it good?
No.
Oh yeah.
This is on my bucket list for the Nick Cage movie. I want to see Mandy, the Chainsaw one, Willy's Wonderland, and the one in space.
All right, and one last, because we were talking about it, I started thinking about it as we were talking. It will be New Nightmare. Wes Craven's New Nightmare, I guess.
And this movie came out about 4 to 5 months before In the Mouth of Madness. So,
I fucking loved this movie.
Yeah, it's super meta. And when Jay was bringing that up about this movie being a meta movie, all I could think was New Nightmare, because it's just so bizarre. You know, you got Wes Craven writing the movie within the movie. You got Heather Langenkamp starring in a movie where
so smart.
Yeah, it's just an interesting movie.
True, but I think it also goes along with what I was talking about. When you make movies like that, they're meant to be after the lore is over, because this movie 100% just rehashes the lore of the first movie, and it has to end all over again.
Yeah.
I mean, it came out 3 years after Freddy's dead, so I think Wes Craven was like, I want to end Freddy the way I want to, and I think that's what he got to do.
Speaking of which, I want to show you guys the shirt I'm wearing.
Oh, that's glorious.
Oh yeah, the Dream Wars, and I got a Nightmare on Elm Street hoodie today, so I'm very excited.
Where'd you get that from?
Walmart, baby.
Nice.
Believe it or not, Walmart was kicking some cool stuff.
Shit.
Well, I can smell the child labor from here. Sweet
You guys,
Chinese child labor.
Recommendations. You guys have anything that kind of goes along with the meta or the acid trippiness of this movie? I mean, that's a time filler, so I appreciate it. Anyone else?
I mean, I'm right there with you on Mandy and Wes Craven's New Nightmare.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. There's got to be some more meta movies out there.
Yeah.
Stranger Than Fiction's pretty meta.
Yeah, that's meta.
But it's not a horror movie. Not a horror at all.
Horror, yeah.
It's complete opposite.
I'll tell you the movie that's meta horror-ish is Pet Sematary 2. Where, it's about the mom is, she's an actor in horror movies. She ends up dying in a horror movie. And then he's living out a horror movie in real life.
Oh, the Final Girls. Final Girls is that's more of a comedy. Cabin in the Woods.
The ultimate meta movie.
Yeah. Oh, Behind the Mask. The Rise of
Leslie Borden.
Vern. Well, no, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. I fucking love that movie, man.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I guess with that said, guys, thanks for watching. David, where can they find you on the internet?
You can find me at.
Real quick, Rap says Donnie Darko.
Oh yeah.
Great.
Fuck yeah,
Great.
Love Donnie Darko.
All right, go ahead. Where can they find you, David?
On the Facebook, you can find me at Stop Motion Nightmares, where you can see my stop motion films that are super creepy. And on the Instagram, you can find me at Children of Day, where I always post my creepy ass art. And this Thursday, I'll be at the Dallas Comedy Club in Deep Ellum, performing with Tyson Pfeiffer, doing his crazy, wacky dating game show.
Right on. And you can find us on the internet at wearepodcast.podbean.com, where you can find all the podcasts. Check out our social media. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at /WeArePodcast. And of course, you can check us out every Monday here for Horrorcast. We talk horror movies from the past, live on Twitch at 8 p.m. Central Time. Join us next week for Children of the Corn.
Children of the Maze.
Hopefully, Mikey B will be joining us.
Malachi.
With that said, keep horror in your heart.
Keep it in your hearts.
We appreciate you listening, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Greg, thanks for picking this movie. And thank you.
Yeah, Greg, thanks.
Thank you so much. Hobby, you sassy bitch.
Oh, yeah, I'm feeling pretty sassy.
All right, guys. With that said, I'm going to cut the feed.
Has the feed been cut?
Not yet. Almost.
Hobby wants to say the N word really bad.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Technically,
this is going
down.
down.
Technically, Javi can say it anytime he wants.
I have said it.
I was gonna say, Javi,
That's a humble brag.
Go
That's
ahead,
a humble
Javi.
brag that I'm part black.
And he's black.
Take
I was
over,
gonna
Javi.
say-
Lighter.
It's like he's like, Javi, what do you mix with? I'm like black and Hispanic. Oh, you fucking showboating son of a bitch.
Yeah. But Javi, I can also see.
And there it is. Thank you again so much for checking out the podcast today. If you enjoyed it, head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, and iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And since this is Camp/Horrorcast, if you want to check us out live, we will be on Twitch and YouTube every Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time. You can find us at twitch.tv/We Are Podcast Network and youtube.com/We Are Podcast Network. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, you're going to love the other podcasts here on the We Are Podcast Network. We have We Are Air, where we talk movies, entertainment, whatever the fuck we want to talk about. That's me, that's Jake, and that's Javi. We're breaking down that pop culture, and we're having so much fun. And don't forget to check out We Are Bagu, a video game podcast, where we talk Atari to Steam and everything in between. That's me and Dr. Ethan Eastwood breaking down all that video game lore, heroes, Gyros, a Dungeons and Distractions side quest. Me and the boys were playing some D&D. You can start that one from Season 1, Episode 1. It's a blast the whole way through. And I hate being sober. Personal stories from epic people. I sit down with some of my favorite people of all time. We talk about their trials, their tribulations, and their journey this far. Also, check the links in the description for our social media. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /We Are Podcast Network. With that said, hopefully we see you in the live stream.